Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TEW2020 video. You join us for our latest event on the Free For All series. They're events that are basically free to attend, which is called Party Boom. You'll see why with the show as it goes along, but yeah, I really struggled for a name with it. It was initially going to be Faction Wars, but a lot of that will tie in once we get to the next event, which is of course AEW Blood and Guts. We may be having this show the same day as WrestleMania, although that may be next weekend game. I think it is set to the first week of April, so we're just ahead of it. But yeah, looking forward to it. We're on AEW Plus, we're on Cablevision, just to kind of get one show off that deal. I'm quite looking forward to it. There's a lot of storyline driven stuff, but I'll try and explain what I've been booking on the various Dynamites and Rampages as time has went on. The last time we done this was Dream Big, and that was March 2023, and we got 103,000. It's less than that because we're in a not as popular area, plus we're in a position of mass decline in the industry. 92 could be possible. I'm trying something a bit different, a shorter main event, but two guys that I know can stand and deliver. No reference to that NXT pay-per-view, just happened to come out my mouth there. But anyway, let's jump into it. This is AEW Free For All series Party Boom. So all the boosts, we're hoping to get the maximum rating in front of a sold out 85,000 in the Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. So the main event is going to be the head of the Bryan Danielson Fight Dojo, the man himself, Bryan Danielson, and he is going to be challenging the world champion Adam Cole. While it says it's an in-ring segment, we'll just say it's the hype package that you get before the show. Only draws a 90. So we're already under pressure in an unlikely 100 rated event. We started off a matchup between Kenny Omega and Malachi Black. They had an encounter previously on Dynamite. I felt like we could make something happen here. So I had a superb matchup that saw Kenny pick up the win in 1801 with a one-winged angel. 94 for Omega, 75 for Malachi. The interesting thing here is their matchup on Dynamite was an 88. This is only an 81, but I did think I made that steal the show, and this was just a regular matchup, so that would have obviously a bearing factor in that. But Kenny picks up the win and what I think would be a stellar match. However, it leads to a distraction after Kenny celebrates, Malachi distracts him, and it leads to the rest of the House of Black, Brody King and Buddy Matthews, and it's a 3-on-1 beatdown on Kenny Omega, which brings a 64. And not to be outdone by this, Kenny Omega continues to be beaten down before Malachi Black power bombs Kenny Omega off the stage, through the table. Malachi Black laughing, and this is only after segment 1, and we have Kenny Omega stretchered out with a neck brace on. 85, Kenny came across well in this beatdown. Moving along, next up we had a superb wrestling match with great heat as Drew Galloway defeated John Moxley in 16-11 with a Claymore kick. It's only a 76, heavily penalised by the lack of psychology. I was kind of hoping here that Drew would carry the match with the psychology, but not to be. But these two have had a little rivalry going on Rampage to really see who's kind of in that upper echelon. And I feel like Moxley's been up there, Drew's getting close to that level of overness in game, so it was better to give Drew the victory here. We had a matchup for the AEW Zero X Championship, something that I've neglected because Ricochet is somehow nearly on a year-long title reign. But it was about that had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd when Ricochet defeated Ilya Dragunov in 12:27 with the 630 splash, 1 year reign, and just the 10th title defence. But an 80 matchup's good, and I think we made this one just a regular match. So these two putting on a bit of a clinic. Under the promo, we have the AEW Women's Tag Team Champions, which is of course Jade Cargill and Charlotte. And they just say there's been many teams trying to get against them. It doesn't matter if it's the Poisonous Chalice, it doesn't matter if it's the team of Saraya Knight and Elena Black, or whoever else it may be, they will still be the best tag team in All Elite Wrestling's women division. We then had a mega matchup that saw great heat and good wrestling, where we Brock Lesnar defeat Wardlow in 12:11 with an F5. a 79. This is one that was put together at the last minute, but there's going to be like a long telling story towards it. But that's why Brock picks up the win over the War Dog. And after the matchup, Brock Lesnar just beats the shit out of Wardlow. A 71. Long term story planning with that one. I think you obviously know where it's going to go. Redemption arc, but yeah, Wardlow struggles a lot with psychology. It's only like 56. It's come up like a couple of points. But in order for him to really go to the next level, he's going to have to keep getting that stat up, or we're going to be limited where we push him. Another matchup that we had quite recently on Dynamite, and I decided to run with it on pay-per-view, was Darby Allin picking up a win over CM Punk in 14-20 with a coffin drop. This was an 80, both guys with good performances. I felt like here it was another one where Darby's so close with his psychology stat, while CM Punk has enough for psychology, so I felt like that would carry it. Your problem with Punk is, of course, his lack of stamina, so he can't go over 16 minutes, but we need to start thinking of the future, and Darby Allin is certainly a big part of our All Elite Wrestling future. We then had that mega matchup, and look at that for another team added, just Bayley Rose and Mercedes Varnado, not bad, but it was a decent matchup. Jade and Charlotte pick up the win over Poisonous Chalice, Elena Black and Saraya Knight, and Bayley Rose and Mercedes Varnado. It's quite a hell of a stacked women's division, and that's not even for the main belt. But they win in 13-31 when Jade Cargill pinned Avery Taylor with the Jaded. Third title defence, everyone there putting out stellar performances, the weakest of the bunch being Avery Taylor with 40, Elena Black with 54, which is not bad, her first month on the main roster, and I feel like her and Saraya could do magnificent things. But as I say, it'll take time for her to go over, Saraya to get back into the right swing of things, and obviously Priscilla and Avery will take time, but delighted with that for sure. We then had the promo with all our authority figures. We have the general manager for Dynamite, Chris Jericho, the general managers for Rampage, Daria Berenato and Mick Foley, and of course the Lucha Underground Hour, we have Luis Fernandez. So just try to get them all a bit more over with this segment, and that is 59. But they were also hyping up for our Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods title championship matchup. The good thing about this is we can have some intergender wrestling, and here we had a decent matchup that saw Kana pick up the win over Matt Cardona in 14-13 with the Billiken. Kana makes defence number 2 of the Gift of the Gods Championship. 68 because both of them didn't click, so this would have been easily into the 70s should that have not been the case. So if you are new, the situation is 4 title defences of the Gift of the Gods will get you a title shot for the Lucha Underground Championship. However, if you lose that Lucha Underground match, you'll stay as Gift of the Gods champion. You just have to make another 4 title defences. So at the moment the champion is Garza Jr. and Kana has 2. She obviously won the belt, which will make 3. So in this technicality, she just needs 1 more defence of the belt because we'll include her winning it. So we'll make it 4 defences. I think we'll make it, well, not 4 defences, but winning it and then 3. I think that's probably the easier way to do it. So 4 matches involving that belt. So if I have 3 defences, I made an arse it. Anyway, women's division is really hotting up, and it's a rematch for the championship. Of course, Io Shirai, former champion, against the current champion Demi Bennett. And it was about they had superb wrestling, great heat. Demi's been on an absolute run of form, great victories. And in an 18-28 minute matchup, she wins with the Riptide, giving her 2nd defence of the World Championship belt. 81, disappointingly against an 87 and 83, so I'll need to work out what is going wrong. I think it could possibly be the fact that the ring stuff is okay, but their popularity maybe surpasses it. Needs to be seen, it's a 40-60 balance, but it is an 81 overall. Next up, we have the Open Challenge for the championship belt that Will Hobbs holds, which is the TNT belt. You can see here it has been Keith Lee as a badass gimmick, and he has accepted the challenge. So really what I've done here is Hobbs was in a wee mini feud with Sami Zayn, managed to beat Sami Zayn for the championship belt, so he's survived that. And like, do you know what, he's in my way, I'll take an open challenge and we'll get the debut of Keith Lee. So a 75 here, Keith Lee, Will Hobbs straight away, he'll let go. That's 74, so not bad. Keith Lee's over on us is 69 just now. But a good matchup. Keith Lee wins the belt on his debut. I don't usually do that, so that's a shocker, but he wins in 11:35 with a Spirit Bomb. 74 rated matchup for your new TNT champion, and that was a wild brawl match. Then I've got a backstage segment with Nick and Matt Jackson. They just basically talk about how it's really uneasy what happened earlier on to Kenny Omega. Says they're concerned about him. They're just waiting on more updates from the medical facility or the hospital, depending on which company you support. But they're really just saying, we've still got to defend these belts tonight against Private Party. So hopefully we can do that. But we need to get to the hospital as soon as we have that matchup. Then the MJF cut a promo on Prince Devitt, 81. These two had a little mini feud going on Rampage as well. MJF just says here, I prove again that even when you continue to be a mere mortal, you're just nothing compared to MJF, and there's nothing you can do that's going to give you a victory over me. And that is an 81. I was kind of hoping that promo would have been a bit stronger. But the matchup delivers. That's one of our best ones for a while. And it's a superb matchup that saw MJF defeat Prince Devitt in 17:38, illegally using the ropes for leverage. So a 90 performance here. 77 Prince Devitt, 92 for MJF. I think you know where this one's going to go as well. Mere mortal? We need them to demonise. So that'll happen at one point for sure. But 90 rated matchup, absolutely stellar by these two. Then had that matchup for the Tag Team Championships. Of course, in this world we have Babyface Young Bucks after they were taken out by FTR. Also, should have mentioned, obviously we have the Fatu brothers, G.S.O.'s Tony's Squad. So he was out for a year, he did have surgery, but he will now be back in 3 months' time. But anyway, we had a good matchup here, good wrestling, and a decent reaction from the audience. These four teams have been at it. Private Party have been well involved with both of them. But they pick up the win over the Young Bucks in 13:37. When Isaiah Cassidy pinned Nick Jackson. So Private Party are your new tag team champions. That's the party part. 82, absolutely stellar. They've been really getting over, and as I say, there was a point I did it to start moving to the next generation. And yeah, it's mental that I'm put stuff like this. Yeah, you've got people like Sammy Guevara, who former champion, not on the card, but we are going to start to see the change of the guard very soon. And they celebrate, which is a 65, and I think we actually are close to our main event. It might actually be next. So here comes the pressure. It's an 87. An exceptional matchup as with Adam Cole defends the title and defeats Bryan Danielson in 17:49 with a flying crossbody. Don't know why that's his finisher on this, but okay. And it's his first defence of the belt. So this one, obviously, Cole has been getting absolutely mauled enough to continually fight the Danielson dojo. And 87 is good. I wanted to try to see if the length of match would maybe help it. I think Cole, pop wise, is maxed out at 85. Brian's not too much higher, but it's still pretty decent. So I think we'll be looking at a 90 rated show once we add in the boosts as well in the 90 rating opener. And of course, we don't just end it there. The Bucks have went home, and we have a 6-on-1 beatdown on Adam Cole. Every member of the Danielson dojo jumps in. So as Danielson distracts him, we see Walter, Stu Grayson, Claudio, Daniel Garcia, and even Layla Hirsch. Every one of them is just beating the crap out of Adam Cole. He's getting thrown about, suplexes here, there, he's getting stretched. He's getting a super kick for Grayson. Ever since he's turned in the Dark Order and joined the dojo, he has really elevated his game. So at the end of the show, the Danielson Fight Dojo stands tall. So in 93, so the pop boost then really helped, so obviously that being a good matchup. I think what might help us as well, not it was an 87, that was a 90, that being like a small percentage of it may have helped as well, but pretty happy with that. 85,000 people, but we make all our money by being on the AEW Plus network. And yeah, we're in our generation now where we've got Keith Lee as champion, a TNT champion. Private Party is the tag team champions. We have a Lucha Underground belt. We've got a big massive faction. Kenny Omega's been written off for a few weeks. It's almost as if a few things are building up quite nicely for Blood and Guts. So I think I will actually make that the main event, like a big 4-on-4 War Games match. If I can extend it to 5v5, brilliant, because there's big ways I can go with that, but obviously it's going to be 4 members of the Danielson dojo that are going to be in that main event match, so it might take a bit of hit in rating, because obviously it won't be everybody over in the main event, but still should be something stellar. We'll just jump in here as we see future AEW signing John Cena. He's in for at least 18 months just to help push us along. I think it's more so for his promos and his psychology rather than obviously skill set, because he's going to be like 46 in game, so he'll be a bit nowhere near his prime. So feedback was awesome, show's getting good reviews, which is good to see. I don't think there's anything here that directly affects us. Nope. As I say, WrestleMania will be next week in game. I just want to check something. I've just got AEW. So that actually was our 8th best show of all time, which is good to see. Slots in there just behind Full Gear from 2022. So I'm getting a lot of shows over the 90s now, but just nowhere quite where I need to be. You can see my best match is a 94, so that MJF versus Prince Devitt match slotted in at number 22, so not bad at all. And you can see, look at that, MJF and Prince Devitt with 2 of the top matches, and then that other Kenny Omega Malachi Black match 88. So I've been having a lot of great matches, just not quite over the finishing line. I think it's amazing, like we've done a third of the year as well. Is that right? No, quarter of the year. It's on 3 months, it's a quarter. And the 4th match included Bianca Belair, Ford and Charlotte, so that's good to see. Hopefully we can get more of that down the line. Right, so this is just going to be development talents, that's fine. If they don't have a picture, then they are generated in game. I think just get everyone used to the development factory. Andrew Everett will give you a 75% increase because we don't really worry. A few guys and girls on contracts. Kip Sabian, and then, well, Akira Francesco obviously is real, but these 2 generated. And, oh, okay, let's have a look. So, this guy's leaving BJW. He's 60, so that's fine. Brian Kendrick says it is Cassidy's talent and a good worker. Fair enough. Viewing figures was a 29.23 because we're on the network, and of course if it's on the network nobody's going to buy it, but at the same time it keeps that company happy, so we can just make sure we don't have, so in case down the line we obviously want to have 1 pay-per-view deal in America. That was my mistake, but we'll be fine covering it going forward. The user point gained for another 50 successful shows. So if we jump through, fortunately it's not myself, I'm Tony Khan in this. You can see there I've done 2 years and 7 months in game, 323 shows, booked every single one of them, no auto booking here. 98 is my best rated show, and 94 is the best match, and 106,000 is our biggest attendance. A lot of that I think is going to be really difficult to beat. Use our talents. Let's go motivation. I want to see if we motivate and I can just try and get them to go like, come on, do our matches. But we'll see what happens. So good be well to Blood and Guts. I've got a few days to book a few shows. So hopefully all going well. We should have that next week. But cheers as always for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.